Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian,
Hello.
Kevin,
Hello.
and Brett.
Hi. Hey, how's it going?
I literally almost said a different name, but I did good there.
Brett.
As you can see here in the title, I will have this right. We're here to talk Survivor 43. This is episode 2, Lovable Curmudgeon. I have to say right off the top, guys, we didn't talk too much pre-show. I thought this was a great Survivor episode. I don't know about you guys. To me, this was like peak Survivor. There was twists, there was turns, there was risk reward. The risk ended up hurting and having to change the last half hour dynamic of the episode. This was a 90-minute Survivor special event episode, just like Amazing Race was also tonight. And this is one of the first times ever I'm going to say I did not mind the extended length episode of Survivor. I thought this 90 minutes was perfect for everything that happened in the episode. We'll get to the results in a second, but I'm just curious how you guys felt overall, because I've been positive now 2 weeks in a row for Survivor, which is wild. So Brian, how about hear you first, and then you guys can jump in.
It was a good episode. I also want to say I'm sorry I wasn't here last week. My baby threw up on me, and that's why I had to cancel last minute. But I enjoyed the episode, Bill. You know why I loved it? Because there's a ton of camp life.
Camp life. Kev, what did you think?
I mean, I agree. This is kind of what I said last week. It was like that. It seemed long at some points, but like at the end of the day, you needed all of this to make a good episode. And something that we've been talking about for seasons now is we need that drama in the background. We need to know the challenge aspect of it all. I'm very glad with the adjustments that they've made. As far as that, they haven't really made too many adjustments as when it comes to like the different challenge. They haven't had a new challenge or anything like that that I've been surprised about or excited about to see. Other than that, this is exactly what I think we needed as a viewer.
Brett, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Survivor, I definitely think they could go back to some of the more old school challenges, because I think the challenges have gotten too complex and always puzzle focused and don't always have as much like physicality or player on player action. Like I love when they used to just have physical stuff, or they had to like, all right, I'm going to pick this player from my team, and then they're going to pick to go against that player from your team, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I like having, as long as if they want to give us 90-minute episodes every week, I'll watch it. And
for sure,
maybe they should do some live feeds like Big Brother, set cameras in the trees and give us camp.
That would be awesome. But like, to go along with what you were kind of just saying, I kind of like the fact they've made all their challenges like a combination of physical and then end with mental, and it always obviously comes down to
but
mental.
They all
I'm all about 100% mental, 100% physical, 50% of the time. You know what I mean? Like let's get,
I get what you're saying.
Like let's get the American Gladiators like push off the thing, and then the next episode we have a trivia competition.
Yeah, just like they did
I'm
with,
good
the
with
challenge.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be that extreme. Like I'm not asking for that, like, because it still needs to fit the person that they bring onto the challenge or onto Survivor.
But if you have like a bunch of weak people on each tribe, because no one's like a gladiator, well, then they're just gonna have to. I mean, they're both weak, so they can just still be even.
Yeah, it's like it really wouldn't be a disadvantage to anyone to do something physical,
right?
Because there is no Goliath per se, like Jonathan. I do agree with you guys. It's a funny point. Every challenge ends with a puzzle right now. Every single, like, I don't even care if every challenge has a puzzle, but does it have to always end because you collected the puzzle pieces? And everything always, like, it could be like you said, Kevin, could be like, you guys need to sword fight to the death, but then make sure you pick up your puzzle pieces and do your Sudoku. Right. Every episode of Survivor ends with them putting together puzzle pieces. So I do agree with that. I do want to focus our more of our conversation right now on the results. Obviously we did have the challenge. It was the snake challenge out of the water. Like you guys said, it's an evolution of a classic challenge. Vessi does crappy. Vessi, if this was a episode of the challenge, would have totally had TJ yelling at them for quitting and not trying hard enough.
You know, I'm laughing because
what color is Vessi? Red or yellow?
Red.
All right.
What's the girl's name who's from Nigeria?
NECA.
No, yellow was in last. on the snake.
That's what.
Yeah,
that's
at
what
the end. By the end.
Never mind.
Okay,
Red bar.
When NECA was on, when that snake was on top, she just fell off.
Oh God,
so hard.
Dude,
That's what I was thinking about when you're talking about. Just busting out laughing, just thinking about it.
TJ,
dude, it was so great. And they had that like voice in, like, make sure you hold on, and then she just like snaps her back. You're like, oh, dude. This girl's she could have died.
If you're gonna be dead weight, at least hold on to the
right. Just hold. They have handles on it.
That's what Cody was like, literally like holding on, just swinging on that thing. It was. I was really enjoying the people doing that. I think Lindsay was doing it too on the Coco.
Well, at one point, I think they had the strategy of like, all right, let's just have somebody hang on the head, and then everybody else just start gripping and throwing. Like getting it over the edge. So like at one, dude, they all. It was a comical one for sure.
Get the basilisk out.
Yeah.
If it, I think it did have handles. So if it did, you kind of have to have
a
strong
definitely did. Yeah.
Lean over and just grab.
It used to not have handles. That's the thing.
I know.
That would have been funnier. I wish they had that. That's actually a lot funnier. That's where you're gonna see people falling over.
Yeah, because
or get underneath it and put it on your shoulder.
Brett.
That was my first thought. Was why doesn't everybody like spread out and put it under your shoulder? And then they were like, all right, you got to go under that thing. So I kind of get why you wouldn't, but
that's what they used to do in the old challenge. A strong guy would be underwater, like barely breathing, like trying to like get it up.
Getting it off the water, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're lacking that strong guy on
every team.
All three tribes. On all three tribes.
Maybe right.
Vessi has an interesting situation now. So obviously from last week, Dwight doesn't have a vote. Dwight not having a vote really throws things into a cold tiff because now the 3 versus 2 men on women doesn't matter. Really kind of a crazy type of situation, but things get even a little bit crazier. Cody going around doing the normal search finds an advantage as well. It's one of those beware, leave it or don't. I feel like at this point, like, and the ending kind of changes part of this narrative, but like, man, it is almost really not worth it to pick some of these up sometimes. Like, it is always taking away people's votes.
And the timing of it was really bad.
The timing was horrible because he takes his vote away. True. It's an immunity bracelet that he has to convince everyone to give them a bead from their bags that they all have that was given to them. And once he has all that, he does get a vote back. But that is a tough ask. And I didn't think it was going to happen.
It's like the Infinity Gauntlet.
It literally was the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, Bill, where is your
where's the gauntlet? Get the gauntlet out.
Bill, you were saying it doesn't make sense to it. I could not put myself in that situation and not be like, well, I'm opening this shit. Like I couldn't not do it. You know what I mean?
He had the option of picking it up and hiding it, but not opening it. So you can open it later.
I was thinking that.
Well, I think that all the time.
Where it's
like,
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, why don't you just not open it and make sure nobody else gets it, and then you can control the game that way.
There's 0% chance, by the way, when he comes like Thanos asking for Infinity Stones, like, I'm not giving up my beads. Like, you're not getting my beads. You're not getting my Infinity Stone. Like, beat it. Like, that is so suspicious. And well, the big surprise is that somehow NECA got the beads. How did NECA get the bead from her? How did she convince her? What did she say?
Yeah, right.
By having NECA play into it, like, oh yeah, here are my beads. I knew that would help them get the beads from other people. So when he read it the first time, I'm like, he's got to loop in his alliance and get them to help.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. Here. If you're a fan of the show and you saw this kind of bullshit going on, wouldn't you be suspicious?
I would never give my bead up. I'm not. You can't have it.
And that's exactly what she did.
This is my bracelet.
But she was like, I just want to have something for Survivor.
I know.
Not like a confession. I was like, I don't believe him.
Well, he looked like she was sussed out. Like,
yeah, I'm glad it's not a challenge, like a immunity where you need to say something. Like, I actually enjoyed this.
Oh yeah, it was
a tougher task.
I thought it was the best part of the episode. So
yeah, no, I'm not hating on it.
I do really like that. I didn't realize that basically is a substitute, is what they did last season that we couldn't stand. But that is true. It's that. Oh my God! It is that very difficult, but
this is
you have to get it.
This is way cooler than that. Collecting
it's more. I mean, you could be more
way cooler than a rhyme.
Yeah, 100% collecting Infinity Stones.
Wasn't it like I feel like a sunflower that's never been watered, like bullshit like that.
Yeah.
So
dumb. Good on AstroTurf.
So NECA
Yeah.
with the quick slip was able to get Cody the beads, which means Cody had a vote, and that was the end of Justine. Justine was snapped.
The votes didn't matter though. Did you realize?
Yeah, because you got
the
3.
girls split the vote anyways. He
Dumb.
didn't even need the beats.
All-time dumb move.
Yeah. Dummies. Big dummies.
But that's still
I
also
think
peak Survivor.
Like, though I picked Cody Cody last time, but even him going like, I don't like the whole females versus male. First, have you ever noticed that it's never like, yo, let's make a males alliance ever? It's always, all right, well, it's the females versus the guy. You know what I mean? So like it never ends up working out that way. I'm like, I liked him because he legitimately was like, this is a dumb way of looking at it. Like, let's be real. At the end of the day, everybody's gonna have to align with a different gender, I guess. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I'm saying, or am I rambling?
No.
It makes sense. Like you can have your alliances with like mixed gender or whatever, but you always like at the end of the day want to have like you don't want there to be an obvious majority against you, because then you're
it's a subconscious thing. Listen, it is what it is. There's no way to like when they're saying there's 3 of us and 2 of them. It wasn't like their intention, but at the same time, it's like the simplest, easiest way to make a decision.
Every single season now. It's all right, we got to keep the women together. We got to be like strong together. You know what?
There's always somebody that's going to betray that, though, right? Like,
right.
I don't
so
think
that's
they're
what I
all
mean. Like Cody's like, all right, let's just fucking forget that.
And then the audience is mind blown when it comes to this decision.
right.
Like,
right.
It's just it's ridiculous seeing these comments of people.
I was glad though, because I'm pretty sure I picked NECA to win, so I didn't need her getting voted off yet, but she probably will at some point. All good though. I'd like her to, even if she can make the merge. I mean,
that's very good for her that she had the 2 allies willing to protect her.
Yeah, that's true. Right now, she does have a nice within her own tribe. She's pretty safe, and I don't know. I mean, with
she's like she's like the exact like typecast, the person that if she can get allies and survive the early part of the game, she's not a threat in the end part. And
when it's a single game or a single like solo game.
Yeah, and as long as she doesn't have to do any of Brett's like ball brawls against anybody, she'll be great. If not, she'll probably end up in the hospital and out like my guy last year. So, yeah, we can figure that out.
She's gonna play the perfect Siri game just like she wanted.
That's true. That's true.
One other note I had, a couple of things for camp life. At the end of the episode, the stuff with Baca. 2 things. One, Gabler, man, laying around like he's dying. It's like the 2nd episode, dude. You got it. He's making himself such a target.
He is killing me. And not only that, every time I see him, I literally go, this guy at one point was the dude that gels his mustache and sits there and just waits for attention.
He wasn't the guy in Amazing Race that handed out the envelopes in episode 1.
Exactly like that. Like my personality is my facial hair.
Gabler right now is literally Michael Scott playing Survivor Man out in the Scranton woods.
Dude, he's the wettest blanket
for 3 days, and he's talking about his body deteriorating and having to rest his energy. He's like Michael, who's been out there for like 2 hours and starts eating like lasagna, like fettuccine alfredo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's got to, dude, get to day like 6 or 7 before you start complaining about your body falling apart and you need to be taking naps all day. Like, I would get him. I would throw a damn challenge. Get his ass,
dude. You can't. He's got another.
Yeah, he's got another episode.
And then that's the part I have sex. Like, well, they looked at his thing up. He's still another. We have to go through a whole immunity, another tribal council together before we can get rid of him.
You can trick him though.
What if that's why they're making?
Should have got rid of him last week.
That's why they're making the episode so long. They're like, I know the audience can't take 3 full episodes of this guy. Why don't we just spread out the first 4? In a 2 hour and a 1 hour, 1.5 hour.
I can't stand any tribes that when they know the person with the idol isn't going to use it, that they don't vote them out. It's like the dumbest thing. And I'd be like that, make that an open rule in my tribe. Basically, it's like, hey, you have an idol. you don't use that, yeah, we're voting for you. Like, you better like use it. Like, you flush it out, be done. But when that guy was so openly saying, "I'm not going to use it," get him out of there. Get that.
Well, Bill, it goes back to what we've said since day one reviewing this. This guy was the most open to telling the entire tribe.
Hate it
that he got this thing, and now he's just literally reaping the benefits. It's, oh, what are you gonna do? Vote me out? No, I'm a little tired. I'm a little like, oh, do something about it. I dare you.
Well,
like, he's
what are your
flaunting
guys'
it.
thoughts on them? Because I guess in both situations, like every time people have gotten an advantage so far, they tell it.
I absolutely hate it.
We hate that. It is our number one complaint. Shut up. It's the whole point. Why?
Bill hates it the most.
Why?
I think I hate it more than Bill.
I mean,
I hate it more than Brian.
I see
Brian
it as
hates
one
it
of
more
those.
than Bill, and Bill hates it more than I do.
We all literally
That's
hate it.
how much we
just
For me,
lie.
I think it makes sense. In certain situations, I think it makes sense to just. It's a weak power. You're better off telling the truth and building trust with your allies, because that's the real currency of the game. But if it's something where like nobody will know that you have it, you definitely don't tell them that.
I agree.
Yeah, can't I just build trust by voting along with my alliance?
Yes,
right?
yes,
but I mean, Brett, what you're saying, like, at the end of the day, you can't trust anyone, period. So it's almost more beneficial just to not say anything, period. Like, just shut your mouth.
He went on the
just
journey.
Shut up.
So what do you say though? Because you go on the journey, everyone thinks you have an advantage. So if you say nothing,
I just say I turned it down.
they vote you out.
Let them speculate. Then throw your title. That's what it's there for.
And then even if you see
Jesus
those dudes,
Christ.
and then you see the dudes on the merge that were on the island with them, they say you got the advantage. Prove it.
Yeah, like
prove it.
If you think I have something, vote for me. I dare you. And then they're like, okay,
and then you save yourself, and then
you
they better be smart.
In your face, you're gonna
no, because then they get scared and they don't vote for you, and you're like, not gonna.
Oh, and then you win the game. What do you?
I think if I get caught lying, honestly, on Survivor, I think I would literally say what I'm saying to you guys, and whatever. You know, a lot of winning comes down to luck of it too. But it's like, I would just be like, I'm playing the game a little bit. Sorry, like
I know, the game show for money.
The game show for money.
The game show for money.
In the merge anyway.
Everybody
wants all of it.
Try to flip it. See ya.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I offend you in trying to win the game we're both playing? Like, no, dude.
Yeah, just say you tried to get a blanket and you failed. Done.
Oh, so you're pissed off because you respect me for what I'm doing. Like,
but if everyone thinks you can win the game, they'll vote you out, and you have to survive. Like,
you're not wrong. So like, you're not wrong in that.
I get what you're. There's like there's a give and go here, but like, no. I
guess what my idea is like, I guess if I were playing Survivor, I would probably believe I'm going to try to keep playing day to day. I don't know if I would even be able to make it super long.
So I wouldn't believe anybody.
I'm just going to play day to day.
I'd be crying like Gabler on day 3.
I already overthink.
Yeah, I'm not going to take
a
nap on day 3. I can tell you that. I do like that we get through the first few weeks. I am trying to whittle down some of the people. I do like, weeks like 3 through 6 a lot. I think that there's going to be a lot of changes. Seems like they're making adjustments to things we haven't liked. So I do want to kind of see how that progresses. Before we sign off.
Do you think there's going to be a dual merge and then a giant merge? All right.
Yes. Anything else you guys have before we sign off here for this review?
No,
not at all. Sign off now.